Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, Jong Cena, and today we're going to be doing a clan versus clan 2v2 battle. This is going to be an exciting matchup. I'm going to be the green Confederate player. My ally EveRommel C is going to be the blue Confederate player. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be facing off against two pretty strong resistance players. One of them is clan leader Finnegas from BZH Resistance, and his clanmate Tim, who's a rank 20 player. So let's go and get into it. We see a scout on the base for the yellow player Finnegas. We see that there's double shipyards on the water as well. Yellow at the time was taking up to HQ3. We see second shipyard being upgraded to level 2. So we know some mass alligators are going to be coming into play here. Meanwhile, my ally EveRommel C has some good infrastructure out and is starting to produce units for defense. My plan is to fully commit on the water here. For this particular map, keeping naval control is really important. It's really hard to come back on this map if you lose the ocean. So I'm going for full Vikings here. We see Gator there trying to chase after one of my Vikings, but is going to peel off at the last minute. Right now, just continuing to produce units. We can see the Gators are headed straight for that container. So we can see there's 6 Gators at the resource container. So my plan is to actually launch an attack. This is probably the single most important move of the entire game. I am going to take Finnegas by surprise here and launch a full-scale naval attack onto the production. My goal is to try and break the production for Finnegas. If I can destroy those shipyards and obtain naval supremacy, I am going to have a big advantage over the yellow player. So here we go, we're starting to chew through the defensive lines, and Finnegas is now full on panicking and is now moving Gators back towards the base to try and defend. I've gotten a lot of free hits onto Finnegas's base there, and I've got reinforcement Vikings starting to move in. I've destroyed one of the shipyards. Really nice pickup there. That's going to cut Finnegas's alligator production. We got some reinforcement Vikings starting to move in. I've only got 4 Vikings left from the initial attack. Finnegas has 5 alligators and some grenadiers in the area. And it looks like my Vikings are a little bit cornered from the initial attack, so I'm going to lose those Vikings. But my reinforcement Vikings are coming in. I need to bring that Viking over from the right side. Gold vehicle attack boost, or excuse me, a naval attack boost. Trying to take out these Gators. Here come the Dragonflies. Red's starting to panic a little bit and is now sending reinforcements with the Dragonflies. My Vikings are now cleaning up these Gators. Finnegas has really bad positioning here. Here comes the Vertex support from EveRommel coming in clutch to take out those Dragonflies. And that's going to leave me free to focus on the yellow player. No Dragonflies left in the area. We're going to try and take out this other shipyard. And Finnegas, the yellow player, is in huge trouble. The second shipyard goes down. There's only a level 1 shipyard left and a torpedo platform. This is not looking good for the yellow player at all. My Vikings are now moving in. We got some reinforcements and some deltas to counter any Dragonflies and launch an amphibious attack. And EveRommel coming in really nicely with a strike on the naval platform. And that platform is going to go down. And now, just like that, just before 12 minutes, I have full naval supremacy, and we're going to take full advantage of it. Yellow's now in big trouble. They do not have a chance to build their infrastructure away from the water yet, so I'm going to start to rain some heavy fire onto the buildings here. We take out a construction yard and a special vehicle factory, and now we're starting to dig into some supply centers. Meanwhile, EveRommel is starting to mobilize his ground army. EveRommel is kind of patrolling the area. Now at this point, knowing these two players, they are really strong. So Finnegas has probably started to build away from the water and is going to launch a counterattack. And here we go. This is the counterattack. We see a lot of vehicles in the mix and grenadiers. So I tell EveRommel that we need to defend this attack. If the attack takes out my base, we're going to be in big trouble. My Vikings continuing to put pressure on Finnegas, the yellow player. So meanwhile, I'm going to drop a couple bunkers down and try to pump out some assaults for defense. I don't have that many resources and units to spare, so I'm going to hope that my ground army holds and that my ally EveRommel is able to hold on. And here we go, Grenadier is starting to move on to my base here. I've got a couple bunkers that just finished and the assaults there to dish out anti-infantry damage. EveRommel is now moving his ground forces to reposition. My Vikings are just raining heavy fire onto Finnegas's base. The Grenadiers have finished off a bunker there, but they have run out of steam rapidly. EveRommel is trying to produce more units to defend with. My Deltas have just moved onto the beach there and are now firing onto the Tier 3 headquarters. Now we need to finish off those headquarters to keep Yellow from producing more units. Armadillo there just gets crushed by my Vikings. And here we go, we take out the level 3 headquarters. It's a big pickup for us. Looks like Red has mobilized to the top of the plateau. Is now going to try and counter. We see some Grenadiers, Jaguar tanks, and a Porcupine in the mix. So good army composition from Red. Red's trying to see if they can break the defensive line now. Both Yellow and Red know that they are in trouble. They need to have a breakthrough soon because my naval units are putting a lot of pressure right now. So here we go. More reinforcements moving in for EveRommel. EveRommel's done a really nice job defending their base there. So we can see that Yellow, as I suspected, has rebuilt a level 1 headquarters away from the water. This is a smart move, and Yellow's got some infrastructure to work with. But there's only a couple supply centers, so if I can keep the pressure up, then we can bankrupt the Yellow player and put them in a tough spot. Red's still trying to push. There's a couple of Jaguar tanks trying to put down some fire, but EveRommel's got that Torrent and Zeus tanks with the infantry mixed in. That is no problem to deal with. My Deltas are now raining fire onto Finnegas's infrastructure. These Dragonflies are trying to put fire onto my Deltas, but it's not going to work out. We got EveRommel using the Vertex, trying to get a scout onto the Red player. And we can see Red is HQ4, really nice infrastructure, multiple factories, and so we know that these players know exactly what they're doing, but we were able to catch Yellow by surprise. I'm going to flag the base here. I'm requesting for some help here because if we can finish off Yellow for good, we can make this a 1v2, and that will be no problem for the two of us to deal with. Grenadiers starting to come in now. Finnegas really trying to defend this attack as best as they can. They have limited resources and limited command points to work with. Meanwhile, I've got a full HQ3 army at this point. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off a construction yard here. Very nicely done. Construction yard is going to go down. Here comes some Grenadiers, though, for defense. Deltas are not super great against masses of Grenadiers, but there's only a couple Grenadiers so far. We see a Jaguar tank as well. Dragonfly starting to move in as well. And I'm going to go ahead and do a tactical retreat, trying to regroup, and I'm trying to kite the units as much as possible, trying to take advantage of the range of my Deltas. Got a couple Vikings at the shoreline still, so if I can bring some of those ground units close enough, I can use the Vikings to take out the ground units. So, starting to move more Deltas in. I am now HQ4 at this point. We see a few Jaguar tanks and Grenadiers. That is a pretty strong defense there relative to my Deltas, so I can't make a full move quite yet. So these units, as you can see here, in a direct engagement, I'm probably going to lose to these units, so I need to regroup. I need something to counter the Grenadiers and the Jaguar tanks besides the Deltas. Deltas are good for kiting, but again, let's see if we can bring them close enough to my Vikings. And the ground units have inched close enough, and the Vikings are starting to fire now onto the ground units. This is a bad move from the Red player. Red needs to keep their units away from the Vikings. Vikings are doing so much damage against those units there. So at this point, I need to clear some command points. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy some of my Vikings. I'm going to start to replace my command points with Cyclones. So my new army composition is going to be Deltas with Cyclones. And this should be a nice combo to deal with the infantry as well as the tanks there. Here comes EveRommel with some Vertex support. Really nice support there coming in, dishing out good damage against the Jaguar tanks and the infantry. And looks like Red's going to move too close to the water once again. My Viking's going to dish out some nice damage against the ground units there. Yellow is HQ2 at this point, trying to build a 4th supply center. They've only got 3 supply centers so far. And we can see that EveRommel doing a nice job just harassing this Yellow player. Yellow is just struggling. My Cyclones are slowly starting to build now, so we got some good support to work with. Delta's moving in now to put some fire on the headquarters. They've got a pretty big army here that Yellow doesn't have a whole lot to defend with. Yellow is having to heavily depend on their ally to try and hold the line here. And we can see that some more Grenadiers are streaming in, but now I've got about 5 Cyclones in the mix. Headquarters goes down. Really nice pickup for us. If we can finish that construction yard, that is going to be the end of Yellow, essentially. Construction yard goes down. Really nice pickup. And at this point, we're just going to decimate the rest of Yellow's base. Yellow is going to self-destruct, and it's good game for the Yellow player. At this point, Red is also going to self-destruct, and that's going to be a good game. Alright, hope you all enjoyed this battle. We'll see you in the next one. Good luck until then.